Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Sunny 93.3. We have a special guest joining us today. We have Kandyce August. She's one of the comedians that will be joining us here in Sioux Falls for the 3rd annual Snow Jam Comedy Festival. And Kandyce, you've never been to South Dakota before, have you?
I have never been to South Dakota, and I am so excited to come.
Now, where do you live?
I'm in New Jersey now.
Okay.
It's right outside of New York City.
Sure. Does it get kind of chilly there in the wintertime, or are you guys, is it nice and warm usually?
No, it gets cold here. My assumption is not as cold as South Dakota has the potential to be. So I'm really kind of scared about something called the Snow Jam. I'm wondering how cold it's actually going to be.
Well, it all depends. You know, sometimes I remember, I think it was the first year, the weather was in the 50s. So, you know, it was a beautiful.
Oh.
So everybody was like, so is this like some sort of farce? Does it really not get cold here? We're like, no, it usually does, just not this week. But I'm not sure what's going to happen. Tail end of February is when it'll be. Now, let's talk about when you got started in comedy. What in the world got a nice young lady like you interested in getting in a business like this?
Well, I've always just loved performing. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be in all the Christmas specials or the class presentations, and I love making people laugh. And people my whole life would be like, oh, you should be a comedian. It's not something that I took as a serious thought. I just brushed it off as, you know, just kind of an offhanded compliment of them saying, oh, you're funny. But I didn't really take it to heart, like, this is something you can actually be. This is something you can really do. And some years ago, I just signed up for a writing class when I was living in D.C., and it was like a comedy writing class. And everybody in the comedy writing class had all these outlets for performing. They knew about open mics or shows that they were producing, and then so from there I just got on stage and never got off.
That's awesome. And how long have you been performing now?
It's been 4 years. And
do you have like a favorite story of something that happened while you were either on stage or something right before or after a show?
There's so many stories. Comedy is like the best thing of my life. It's just, I love every moment of it. The good shows, the bad sets. I learn from everything. I become stronger from everything. I don't know. Nothing really specific stands out because I just am so happy every time I'm on stage.
So what do you do? Do you have another job that you do when you're not on stage doing comedy?
Yeah, I do sales during the day, phone sales, and it is exhausting.
Now, you probably get some pretty good material, though, because I've heard some of the things that happen on the other end of those phone calls.
Yeah, just the most dramatic people. It's customer service, for these accounts, and just the most dramatic things that they call and say, and I'm just like, lady, just pay your bill. Like, I'm here to take your payment. Like, I don't want to hear about, your husband left you, your dog died. Like, I don't like, just pay the bill.
and I'll tell you, if you fall in love with Sioux Falls while you're here, we have several call centers here, and they're always looking for people. So, when you get here, if you fall in love, you could actually stick around.
Oh, sounds good.
So, again, our guest right now, Kandyce August. Is that your real name or is that a stage name?
100% real name. A lot of people ask me if it's a stage name. Does it sound stage namey? Does it sound like a real name?
It's amazing to me. There are times where you'll meet somebody who has, like, the coolest name ever, but that's their real name. Like, we've got a friend that is in a band. He's a little rock star, and his name is Dual Shape. I'm like, that sounds like a fake name, but that's his real name. And
that definitely sounds like a fake name.
Doesn't it? But it's his real name. I'm like, you know what? You were just destined to be a rock star. And Kandyce, you were destined to be a comedian. I think that's cool.
Yes! I love it.
So how would you describe your comedy when, everybody that gets on stage and does something, they kind of have a different type of humor? What kind of humor do you have?
I think mine is observant and introspective. So it's going to be about things that happen to me or opinions that I have and just how I see the world. So there'll be a thing that happened and everyone sees it in this one obvious way. And then there's another angle on it that I see that in my mind, it's like, how come no one saw it like this?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I present.
Well, I'm excited for that. Are you going to be a part of some of the showcases that happen here as well, where you guys get to do silly things?
Yes, I actually got my schedule, and I can't remember right now, but I'm a part of several shows there. I really can't wait.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're super excited to have you here. This is your first time in Sioux Falls and your first time in South Dakota, but you said you kind of set a goal this year to get out and see the country, didn't you?
Yes, I set a goal to visit every state at least once. And if I can perform in each state, that's even better, right? Killing two birds with one stone. So I've been invited to this festival in South Dakota. I've never been to South Dakota, so I get to go there for the first time, see the state, perform there. It's amazing. I've done, I sat down and made a checklist the other day, and I visited 25 of the 50 states.
So you got 25 to go.
Yeah, I'll be officially over the halfway mark once I come to South Dakota.
When you get here, if you need to cross off Minnesota and Iowa, that can literally be like a little excursion that would take you about 20 minutes, and you could make it into Iowa. There's even a casino right over the border. It's called Grand Falls Casino. That's a cool place. And then Minnesota, you could go have lunch at McDonald's in Laverne, Minnesota. Then you'd have Minnesota and Iowa crossed off the list. And if you had a little free time, you could make it to Nebraska in just over an hour. So keep that in mind.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So
Now that is good news. I cannot. If those three states are that close, really? I didn't even know.
Sioux Falls is literally like 5 minutes from the tri-state marker, and that tri-states would be Minnesota, Iowa, and South Dakota. So you're real close. You can get those three for sure.
I can't wait.
So, well, we're excited to have you here. It's going to be a lot of fun, Kandyce. Thank you so much for taking time to chat, and thank you for being a part of the 3rd annual Snow Jam Comedy Festival.
Thanks so much. You have a good day. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Again, the 3rd annual Snow Jam Comedy Festival is coming up at the end of February, and if you would like to get all of the details, we've got a link at sunnyradio.com. They also have the website snowjamcomedyfest.com. It's snow with no W at the end, so that's why, just to make it easy, I have a link at sunnyradio.com.